There's 4 types of rental property you can buy, but there's only one type of property that you can actually create lots of wealth and retire early. I own all 4 types in the last 20 plus years. I'm gonna walk you through which quadrant actually pay you, which one look like it pay you, and which one actually eat your money away quietly until one day you wake up a decade later and you realize, damn, it's too late. Here's what I see a lot of beginners do. They think about real estate, they look at all the YouTube and they go, man, I wanna buy rental property to create cash flow. And when they don't have a lot of money, let's say they have, 100 grand. They go, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go down to the Midwest. I'm gonna buy a house for like $75,000. I'm gonna get $500 or $600 a month in cash flow. And it's gonna be great. And so they buy the property and then they rent the property out. Next thing they knew, the AC go out. And all the $500, $600 they was making in cash flow go back into the AC. All of a sudden the roof leaks. They realize it costs $5,000 to do the roof. And all the cash flow they made, it goes towards the roof. Sometimes they don't even have enough. And then so on and so on. And then the tenant basically just wear and tear the house down on these type of property in these type of location. Then they realize after 10 years owning these property, they didn't really make them much cash flow. All the cash flow they made went back into fixing the house. And then they got to the point where they get so tired of it, I just want to sell my property. 10 years later, they bought the house for 75. It might be worth maybe 85,000. It didn't even go up that much in value. It went up, not that much. By the time they pay commission and closing costs, they sell it, luckily they break even. And this is what I see every day with people who just started out investing in real estate, buying in the wrong area, and thought they was making money, come to realize they actually lost money and time. Every rental property make you money in 2 ways. 1, how much cash flow you bring in every single month into your bank account, every single month. 2, how much is that property worth 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Most people think you gotta choose one. You don't. I'm gonna show you 4 different type of combination. I'm gonna tell you that after 35 years, I have owned all type of rental property, these 4 quadrants. And I'm gonna share with you the pros and the cons. Now, you might agree or disagree, but I'm gonna tell you for what I've learned, what I've done, what I've seen, by coaching thousands of students across America in these 4 quadrants. And I can tell you, single family and multi-family people are basically what I know, they will agree with me on this. So again, you can agree or disagree, but I'm gonna share you what I've learned, okay? So I want you to imagine this, okay? Okay? I want you to think about everything above this line is appreciation. Everything below this line has slower or no appreciation. Everything on this side has cash flow. Everything on this side have less cash flow. And I'm gonna explain to you the 4 quadrants, okay? Earlier, I explained to you where new people, when they start coming into investing in real estate, they start watching on the YouTube like, I want cash flow, I'm gonna go buy, really cheap property. So again, they go down, let's call it Midwest. They buy the house for $75,000, right? I talked about. And basically they make $400, $500, $600 a month in cash flow, but then all of a sudden the AC break, the roof leak, and then they're like, you know what? I just wanna get out of this, I wanna sell this. So this quadrant, for most of the new people, this is where the new people start to play at the beginning, because they have a lot of cash. This quadrant down here is what I call you have cash flow, but down here, you have no or slow appreciation. And this area right here, after they buy the property and a few years later they realize the tenant is the high maintenance tenant. I was making cash flow every month, but I had to put it back in these property because something always is breaking. And by the time, they look at it the whole year, they didn't really make much money. After a few years, they go, I'm tired of this, making no money. I want to sell it. And when they sell it, after they pay commission and closing costs, when they sell it, they either broke even or they basically lost money. They bought a house for $75,000. 10 years later, it's worth $85,000. But if you don't wait that long, you sell in 5 years, you probably be negative. And this is why I'm saying in this quadrant, you have cash flow, but you have no or slow appreciation. This right here, new people, you got to be careful about this quadrant right here. Now we're going to go to the opposite end. The opposite end is for the people who have money, okay? I use this example. A few years ago, all of a sudden there was a big wave of Asian investors coming to the States buying rental property. They were bringing in money and they were buying $3 million, $5 million, $10 million houses. Some of them pay cash for it. Some of them put down 50%. Well, when you run the math for what they can rent it for, it didn't cash flow. But it cash flow only if you pay cash for it. You have no note. If you buy something for $5-6 million, you have to put down 50-60% just to rent it to break even on mortgage. They didn't care. But you know why they did it? They did it for this reason. This opposite quadrant, everything above here, is appreciation and no or low cash flow. They don't mind buying in that area, in this quadrant, because they got money. All they doing is using this for a safe deposit box, right? To put their money in for the appreciation. But they're also doing this for the biggest reason is tax benefit. That's why the rich people, they don't care for cash flow. They put a lot of money down. They just want, sometimes the tax benefit basically outweigh the cash flow. If you got a lot of money, you don't care about cash flow, you got a lot of money, they want to buy in the A neighborhood. This is the A neighborhood. This is what I call the D neighborhood. So if you got money, you can play here also, okay? For me, I play here before. That's not for me. Down here, I did this before. That ain't for me either, okay? So this is the two quadrants. I got two more to show you. So if you guys are interested in investing in real estate and you want to make sure you don't lose hundreds of thousands of dollars basically buying in the wrong quadrant, this is what I teach students how to do, how to retire with owning rental property. If you're interested, click the link below in the description, book a call with my team. I'm gonna show you the next quadrant. This is the worst of the worst. These are for the people who just don't know nothing about real estate and they just bought it. They had no mentorship. They never got mentored from Thach at Springboard. They just went and bought whatever they just thought would make sense in their mind. But they realized later on, it's the worst investment they had. This quadrant right here, you guys, is basically, okay, no cash flow and also no appreciation. I would say this is probably the D neighborhood. This is probably the C neighborhood. This is the A neighborhood, okay? You gotta hear me always talk about A is the high end. D is this neighborhood where no cash flow and appreciation, no or slow. This is probably the C neighborhood. Today, I invest in the B neighborhood. But again, I've done this before too. So I know it's painful. And let me tell you something. This work in multifamily also. I got a lot of friends that have thousands of doors in an apartment building. And most of them are in this area. They buy them in area where they have cash flow but slow appreciation. And they realize after a while, they just got out of it. They traded these apartment building into a better area and have less door. And they're okay with it. But this here, you guys, stay away from this area because this is where you buy one of these, you will quit. After you buy rental property, you're gonna go, rental property don't work. And this is the reason why. This is the dream box right here. The only way I actually found this is because I had to go through all these different quadrants and realize this quadrant, I don't have unlimited amount of money to put down to make it cash flow. Buying multi-family property in Newport Beach, Mercer Island, the high-end neighborhood. Don't have enough money to basically just put down so much just to make it cash flow so I can get the appreciation. That could be for me. Here, I didn't want to keep buying property where cash flow was, good, but I want the property to appreciate 10, 20, 30 years from now because that's how you build net worth. I also have these. From default, from all learning all this, make a mistake, I realized this quadrant is the dream quadrant. This quadrant here is basically appreciation and cash flow. This is what I call the B neighborhood. This is the area where you can find property, single family and multifamily, where you can put down 25% or 20%. And you can actually make it cash flow with 20, 25%. This area right here are also good to buy property and add ADU in the back. Because the cost of ADU for new construction is the same to build it here or build in a C neighborhood or a D neighborhood. But the difference is that in these areas, you can spike the ARV and you have higher rent for the same cost of construction. If you do the same cost of construction down here where there's lower appreciation, lower in ARV, you're also gonna get lower in rent. This area works well because it's a balance, like a teeter-totter. When you have appreciation, it doubles based on history, this area, every 10 years, and you cash flow. And these areas are the everyday people that actually make money to live in these areas, and then you can add the ADU to this strategy. Oh my God, this is the dream box. This is the wealth right here. So when you invest in real estate, if you can learn how to find the A, B, C, D neighborhood, invest in the B area, buy a property where cash flow in the front house after ADU when you get the land in the back for free, I'm telling you, it is like the dream of all dream. And this is what I teach people how to do a lot today. I teach them how to avoid these and buy in these areas and do this kind of stuff. Now, let me address this. I get a lot of students that come to me and say, Thach, I agree. This makes a lot of sense. Single family, multifamily. What if I already own property in these areas? So I would say, if you own property in this area, what I would do is I would 1031 these. I would sell these and 1031 them into these areas, single family and multifamily, to actually have better cash flow and better appreciation. That way, folks, if you leave it here, you leave it here. If you got a lot of money, leave it. You don't care, you don't make a lot of cash flow, leave it. But if you're down here, you want some appreciation, folks. You want some appreciation, right? Because who want to own a property for, let's say you bought it for $75,000 and 10 years later, it's only worth $85,000. How do you build true long-term wealth and leave that wealth for your next generation, your kids? Where there ain't nothing left to leave them. There's nothing there. You know what I mean? So if you own property in this area, I would recommend, especially down here, 1031 them into this area, okay? All right. If this makes a lot of sense to you, or you don't think it makes a lot of sense, I'd love to hear it. Put it in the chat. Let me hear it, right? But I tell you, I have experienced all these. When I tell you this is the dream box, this is the dream box, okay? So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, you guys. Share this video to your friend. And if you have any other question or any other comment or topic that you guys wanted me to talk about, leave it in the comment also so we can make more video. Until then, we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.